Well, Eskom wants you to pay more for electricity so it can cover a debt of over 400 billion rand. The power utility has applied for a 15% tariff increase over the next 3 years. Now, Eskom is pleading its case at public hearings with energy regulator Nersa. Let's chat about what we've heard already with energy analyst Yelland joining us this morning. Chris, good morning.
Morning.
So we've seen 2 days of these hearings cancelled in the Western Cape because of a lack of interest. So, I mean, where does that leave us if we have South Africans not going to fight this hike or these tariffs? Is there any hope? Will this play into Eskom's hands then?
No. Look, there is widespread interest and there's a lot of participation that is going to take place and is taking place. You must understand the public hearings are oral presentations, but people also make written representations and written submissions to Nersa, and that's a part of the whole process. So there are likely to be hundreds, if not thousands, of submissions to Nersa, and the fact that the Northern Cape, it just means that there were not people on the list to speak, but there could be many stakeholders that have made written presentations.
Okay, so let's talk about what we are likely to hear, who we are likely to hear from. I mean, just bring us up to speed. With no hearings yesterday, what we heard on Monday, what were the cases that were put forward?
Always the first starting point, I guess, and certainly this time round, is for Eskom to state its case clearly as to why it has made this application and the reasons and rationale behind its price application. And then, of course, it's followed up by submissions by all manner of stakeholder groups and interested parties and affected parties. This can be, for example, business councils like the Cape Business Council. It can be organizations like OUTA. It can be organizations like the Energy Intensive User Group, which is a large industrial customer grouping, industry associations, NGOs, and even individuals speaking in their personal capacity. But of course, it makes a lot more sense for bodies that represent a certain broader constituency to make submissions. It's more powerful because they speak on behalf of a lot of people and customers. And we're likely to see them all opposing Eskom's application in very strong terms.
Now, 15% over the next 3 years, and we were chatting about the maths before we actually went on air. It actually adds up to more than 45%.
That's right.
Yes.
It's 15% per annum compounded
based on the
for
last
3 years.
15%
Exactly.
Of the last one,
So it's not a 45% increase over 3 years. It's actually a 52% increase if you take that compounding effect into account. And bear in mind that there has already been a 4.5% increase award, which comes into effect on the 1st of April this year. So this 15% application this year is on top of that 4%. So it's actually a total of 19.5% this year. And furthermore, Eskom have applied to recover 22 billion rand from the customers through the tariff in what is known as its RCA application for the 2018 financial year. That has still got to be heard, and if Nersa were to grant that 22 billion rand clawback, it would mean about a 10% additional price increase. Not to say that Nersa will necessarily give Eskom what it wants, but that is what Eskom is asking for. 4.5% it's got, 15% on the 1st of April, plus 22 billion clawback, which is equivalent to about a 10% increase. So really, they're looking for something like 30%.
So they asked for 15, hoping to maybe get 10. So is that the trick of the trade? Is to ask.
In practice, Nersa has always given them significantly less than what they asked for. And if you remember the price award that was made on the 1st of April 2018 of about 5% increase, Eskom is challenging that in court to say they applied for, I think it was 19%, they were given 5%, and they think they were hard done by, and they're taking it to court. Challenge, to have it reviewed, this decision, and maybe set aside. Well, we'll see what happens.
Well, we know, Chris, that many municipalities are part of the problem, owing Eskom a lot of money. But for the rest of us who are sitting out there wondering, why is this our problem? Why should it be our problem for those of us who pay our bills every month and are on time with everything?
You see, ultimately, a sustainable electricity supply industry and a successful Eskom is necessary for the entire economy, every business, every industry, every person in South Africa. The regulator's job is, of course, to look after and serve the interests of the customer and the people of South Africa and the economy, but at the same time it's got to look after and ensure that Eskom has a sustainable business, because nobody is going to thank the regulator if by not giving it a sustainable price increase it affects the future of the economy and everybody suffers. So Nersa has to balance these two interests, and the very fact that it usually gets criticized both from Eskom for not giving it enough and from customers for giving increases that are too high in their opinion, is perhaps an indication that it is somehow doing some kind of a balancing act.
Okay, like you say, we'll wait and see what happens. Thanks very much. That's Energy Analyst Yelland just breaking down the Nersa hearings into Eskom's latest application for a tariff hike. And we know that 2 days of public hearings cancelled in Limpopo and the Northern Cape, but they're heading to Durban next as well.